there, pharmacy owners. Dr. Lisa Faast here, and I've got my game gear on today because we're going to talk about sports. Now, not talking about sports pharmacy, which is one of my favorite things to talk about. I love sports and I love helping athletes perform to their absolute best ability. But I'm here to talk about sponsorship. So we know that local businesses are hit up to sponsor all kinds of sports teams, from little league and soccer teams to high school or maybe even collegiate, depending on what your town offers. And in general, we all feel like we want to contribute. We want to, quote unquote, give back to our communities. But you want to have an ROI. So how do you sponsor a team and make sure that you get that ROI? There's a couple of ways to do that. Now, at the high school level, I'm thinking of the high school level mostly because I have a freshman sports athlete who they just sent out sponsorships for their stuff. Now, we are in a very popular school district here in Texas. Obviously, football, it reigns supreme here in Texas. It can be very expensive to sponsor that flagship sport of your area. May not be football, it might be something else. But there's lots of other sports that often need attention that the big sports don't get, and you will get more bang for your buck going that way. I will tell you, as a water polo mom, many of you know I'm a water polo mom, and we appreciate those businesses that support, our little sport. We don't get the funding and the big hoopla that football does here in Texas. And so you might get a more loyal crowd and a more loyal following by going after these smaller sports. It's the, riches are in the niches. It's going after the blue ocean that's wide open and not the red ocean that's bloody from all the competition. So go where there's less competition. Not only will you actually probably pay less for the advertising, but you're speaking to a more captive audience that might be more appreciative for that sponsorship. So I can definitely tell you, as water polo parents sitting in the stands, we know who actually sponsors us, as opposed to maybe the football team. There's 50 or 100, I don't even know how many sponsors. The booklet is so big that honestly, each sponsor kind of gets lost in the shuffle, if you will. Whereas in the smaller teams, smaller sports, I'm sure it's the same way in all the other sports, but obviously I know water polo, we very much know who those sponsorships are. It's usually limited to a small number. We have room for 6 banners at the pool, not very many, and those kinds of things. So think about maybe not going after the most popular sport, and you might actually end up getting more return on your investment, because that's what advertising should be. Doesn't matter if it's, Facebook advertising or sponsoring a sports team, you want a return on your investment for those advertising dollars. Now, another great way to make those dollars work harder for you is you need something to follow up on. You need something sexy to offer them, okay? Many times it might just be a logo, and that's okay. Sometimes you kind of just have to play the rules of the game. But for example, a little league sports team or a soccer team or an I-9 sports team, those you can actually do a lot of things with, because you can hand stuff out. You can meet one-on-one with these people. You can offer them something special. Tell them about your free vitamin program. Tell them about free flavoring at your pharmacy. Depending on what your services are, maybe you offer delivery or compounding. You can hand out stuff to those people, so you can turn maybe a $500 or $700 or a couple $100 sponsorship into getting flyers into their hands, having them share with their friends and family. Say, hey, anybody you offer will also get the free flavoring, or those kinds of things. There's really more about networking with those smaller little teams than maybe like the collegiate teams, where you're hoping for brand awareness and brand recognition. And so it's better to have a little bit of a different tactic based on the type of team that you are sponsoring. So if you sponsor a team, make sure you show up to the game, show up at the first game, the last game. Offer to help, buy pizza, offer to give them a bunch of coupons that they can pass out to their friends and family for your pharmacy. Like, do whatever it takes to really take advantage of that networking. It's really more guerrilla style marketing, which was one of my favorite ways to market for local pharmacies. Learned from the guru himself, Tom Feltenstein. If you ever want any great marketing books, just go to Amazon and buy anything by Tom Feltenstein, and you will for surely improve your business. But so don't just say no. I'm a big fan of cutting expenses. I'm a big fan of not doing expenses and cutting them down. And trimming the fat out of your budget, so to speak. But if you have a problem saying no and you want to say yes to these sports teams and your community programs that come by asking, just do it smartly. Have a way to follow up, have a way to offer something that is really valuable to them, that really drives them into your pharmacy. That's where testing can come into play, highlighting all your different services. If you want some ideas, feel free to chat me, feel free to put in the comments, ask me on AskDrLisaFaast.com. And I am happy to maybe brainstorm some ideas with you, because as a parent of an athlete, we appreciate that support. We appreciate bringing that community together. And that's what local pharmacy, local business is all about, is creating this really nice culture of community in your town. So if you need to say no to cut expenses, absolutely say no. But if you have it in your budget and you want to do it, make sure you do it right, so you get the most bang for your buck and that ROI back to your business. So it truly is an investment in growth and advertising, and not just a donation. So, all right. Well, if you have any questions or follow up on this, or you think this might be helpful to somebody, I'd really appreciate it if you would share it, and look forward to chatting with you next time. Bye-bye.